You take your time. Do the stuff that's hard and necessary, and take your time doing it well. And don't try to do everything where you're constantly stressed in a terrible way.
Right. It's almost like if you want to be comfortable, then prepare for 15 years of discomfort first. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we show you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number, we don't have it on there. Oh yes, 472. We are going to talk about how comfort is screwing you. Hashtag Jeffing you.
How comfort is screwing you. So yeah, we were in the studio on Monday for Marathon Monday, and we were talking about how interesting it is how life is kind of set up more so now than ever for quick fixes. Sort of this microwave mentality, right? We've got your 6-minute abs, you've got fast food, you've got, all of these things on our phone at the palm of our hand anytime we want. One of the things you ended up mentioning was porn, which was like, oh, want a hot girl here now, boom, just click a button.
Or hot guy if you're a woman.
Or hot guy.
Whatever
right.
your preference is. Anything.
Right. Anything you want at your fingertips.
Anything.
And honestly, what that does to you and what effect that's having on you. And you've heard me talk often about chasing pleasure at the expense of fulfillment, and we've all been guilty of that. But if you make that a habit, we're going to talk a little bit on this episode about how it's kind of rewiring your brain in a very negative way.
Yeah, I think that it's almost like, and I never thought of this before. I thought like being comfortable was a good thing, and there are certain times where being comfortable is a good thing.
Right.
But comfort doesn't necessarily, it almost never equates to growth.
Yeah.
So in theory, if you're always seeking comfort, or if you're always seeking the comfortable thing or the easy fix or the quick fix or the lowest barrier to get, if you're seeking that, you're actually doing yourself a disservice.
Yep.
Because it's almost like the other day, I told you this, I had the worst headache. Mm-hmm. Tara and I went leaf peeping. Shout out to New England
What
weather.
What is that?
It's when you go look at leaves.
Oh, okay.
Leaves.
I think we're doing that, Emilia and I, next weekend. We didn't call it leaf peeping.
I got a route for you. Game changer.
We were going to do some sort of a hike. Is it a hike?
No. We literally drove for like 2 hours out to Western Mass. It was beautiful. We stopped at a farm. We saw some animals. It was amazing. But when we got home, I had the worst headache. I actually had a headache all day. The worst headache. And Taryn said, like, you should take some Tylenol. And I was like, I don't want to take Tylenol. Like, that's not what it is. It's my neck. My neck's jacked. I ended up taking Tylenol. But instead of figuring out what the root cause is, most people go right for comfort.
Right.
I wanted to know what was actually causing it. Was it lack of water? Probably. Was it my neck? Yes, because I've been sleeping wrong. I didn't want to go straight to comfort. I wanted to go to understanding first and understand, well, how do I avoid this happening again? And I think a lot of people, like, it's so easy. I use this example on one of the masterminds. Taryn and I are out to eat. She gets up and goes to the bathroom. It's comfortable for me to pull out my phone and look at whatever. Versus it's uncomfortable to sit there like Steven Glansberg by myself, but I challenge myself to do it anyway because I know what comfort is going to bring me. I think most people are seeking comfort probably more often than they need to, and probably by default, rather than saying like, well, I've been in the anxiety zone or I've been really in the learning zone, I'm going to go seek comfort to R&R.
So if you're out there listening right now, you've had this happen to you. Kevin's had this happen to him. I've certainly had this happen to me. It wasn't long ago. I was driving on the highway, and I was meeting Emilia at the gym at Impact. I autopiloted the studio's address into my GPS, and I got to the studio because I was listening to a podcast or a book, and I'm like...
Did you come all the way in?
No,
like
no.
To the parking lot?
No. But I was about to take the exit, and I was like, oh, wow. So I rerouted to Impact, and I was 15 minutes late, and I texted her saying, I'm so sorry, babe. I audioed her, actually, because I was in the car. I'm so sorry, babe. I'm going to be late. I totally jeffed. I just decided to go to the studio today for some reason. That's autopilot. So many of our decisions are on autopilot. That's what habits are. And that's actually a really good thing if it's positive habits. But if it's negative habits like scrolling on Instagram or eating unhealthy or whatever it is. So the problem with this is that we all have goals that are, dude, I was thinking about this last night. Why aren't we all in better shape? Why aren't we all financially abundant? Why aren't we all in extraordinary relationships? Like, really answer that for a second. So why aren't we all rich, ripped, and financially abundant?
There's a couple. I don't know. I mean, I would say it's because those suck. They're hard to do.
Right.
They require you getting discomfort.
Right.
Or you don't know how. Right.
Right.
Like I think you could make that point.
Yeah.
You could make that point. But I think they all are the opposite of comfort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this last night because I remember when we were on air with David Meltzer, and he said, you guys need to get over this hard work thing. You love hard work. And I totally understand what he's saying, but I still am in that camp of like, there's some deep part of me that wants to admit that it's supposed to suck. Like, let me try my best to explain this. And I think this is a perfect way to talk about this because of this episode. Everything that's good in life is uphill. It's the opposite of what's easy.
Yeah.
Every single time. I read a James Clear quote today on Instagram. I actually sent it to you. And it said, if there's something that you're doing that is easy, it is very concerning. It should be concerning because you need to check in with whether or not that's good for you long term. If you're out there listening right now, almost nothing that's easy, if you think about the long-term compound effect of it, is a good thing for you. Getting fast food instead of cooking for yourself, which one's easier? And I am guilty of this. I love getting fast food because it's more convenient. It saves me time. Brian Tracy calls this the expediency factor. He says that the reason we fail in life is because we're all looking for a quick fix, the quickest, fastest, easiest way to get something done. And that almost never works.
Yeah, but I think the other problem is people know human biases, and they know that like that sells. There's a reason 6-minute abs sells. There's a reason if you design a program that says how to get your dream body in 5 years, people can be like, that's not for me.
Right.
That's not for me.
Right.
But it's almost like we can do it better, faster, quicker than everybody else. Aren't you going to pick us? Of course you are. Because it's human nature. It's human nature to take comfort.
Right.
It really is. So it's almost like the cards are stacked against you in a weird way.
More so than ever.
Instagram knows more about human biases than you do. They know more about human behavior. That's why they're able to hook you.
I know.
They know way more about comfort than most people do. I won't say maybe you do know more, right? Maybe you're not the kind of person who gets lost in the sauce, but they are better at making things comfortable. Netflix is. They don't even ask you if you're still watching anymore.
I know. It's down to 3 seconds now?
You jinxed them.
Yeah.
They heard it on here.
They must have heard it because it used to be 10 seconds before they go to the next one.
Isn't that uncomfortable?
The other night, I was watching Free State of Jones with Matthew McConaughey. It's a true story for Civil War. I won't get into it. Literally, I was watching the credits because the actual drawings of the Civil War time was there. And I was so upset because it went to the next movie. And I was like, wait, I wanted to watch the credits. So I went back and it put me at the beginning of the movie. And I was like, I gotta fast forward all the way to the end because I like the music. I'm weird. I like to watch the credits. But like, that's everything is that way. Amazon is one click. Netflix, you don't have to do anything. You just click.
There's a reason.
Porn, same deal. Food, convenience, it's the same thing. And I just think that almost all valuable things require time.
Yeah. I think if you ask people what do you have least of right now, probably people would say time.
It's just a trip. I think that's why Dave talks about time so much, is because what's best for us is to do the thing that is hard and boring. Isn't it weird how the boring stuff is like the most important? Like prospecting.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had fun doing that?
Not a single time.
Not a single time.
No.
Will you ever?
Yeah, when somebody else is doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm on a jet ski.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
right. It's not something I necessarily enjoy.
Most of the things are like that, Kev, genuinely. And I think that's one thing that we can talk about for the listeners. If you're out there right now and you want to get to the next level, start figuring out what boring, mundane, hard, scary, uncomfortable things am I avoiding? Because if you're willing to sit down in a room and really do those things, you will get the life of your dreams. But there's no way to get it.
Right. It's almost like if you want to be comfortable, then prepare for 15 years of discomfort first.
Right.
Because
right.
if you want to be comfortable now, cool, but guess what? You're going to get to the point where you're not able to. You're actually going to be uncomfortable the other way. You're going to have to get uncomfortable to save yourself. Right? Like, okay, I'll do a little Jeff thing. Kevin 1, Kevin 2.
Right.
Kevin 1, even though he dislikes prospecting because he's afraid of rejection, he's afraid of failure, he's afraid to rub somebody the wrong way, to impose on somebody. Every single day he sends a message, every single day to somebody, he connects with somebody. Hey, you ever thought of starting a podcast? Okay, I have an agency. Version 1.
Yeah.
In 15 years, Kevin doesn't have to prospect anymore.
Nope.
Somebody else prospects for Kevin or
the brand speaks for itself.
Okay?
Period.
That's version 1.
Yep.
Version 2. I don't really want to get out of my comfort zone. Like, I don't really feel like sending that message. And that Kevin 2 has existed. Trust me, I know I was him. Christmas comes around, you can't afford to buy your girlfriend presents.
Exactly.
What is that like? Then you have to get uncomfortable.
Yep.
Or you fail. Right? Like, that's where real failure is a thing.
I know.
And I think that
short-term pain
no matter
for long-term
what,
gain.
no matter what,
No matter
you
what.
either choose, again, you get the feedback all at once or you get it along the way.
Right.
You have to get out of your comfort zone because your comfort zone is giving you the results you're getting. And the only way for you to level up to the next level is to get to the next level of discomfort and make the learning zone
your comfort zone.
your comfort zone.
And then the anxiety zone is now your learning zone.
Yeah, honestly, looking back, that is one thing that has helped me tremendously.
It's what you've done.
My
Yeah,
anxiety
consistent.
zone is way out there now. Like, I still get there,
Right.
of course,
Right.
but it's way out. Like, today I forgot I was on a podcast. It was like 10:50, and I was like, oh, wow, I'm on a podcast at 11. I got to get my stuff together.
Right.
Right? Like, I didn't even know.
10:50, yeah.
At one point, that would have freaked me out.
A year ago, you would have been like prepared at 8
Right,
a.m.
right. I
like,
would have been here.
freaking
I
out.
would have slept here.
Yeah, I would have slept on the floor. I got a
interesting.
podcast tomorrow.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Quick story, then we'll go because I know this is a shorter
Well,
episode.
It's not because we're Jeffing.
So, there was a client of mine who is an entrepreneur, and this entrepreneur, we got vulnerable. We talked. This entrepreneur is emotionally driven and very, very afraid of sales. And this entrepreneur was broke and needed money. Took the leap of faith, tremendous courage, left her job, and now has her own place and needs to sell to succeed. Okay. When she was outside her comfort zone and in the discomfort of, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of, I'm going to go master sales and go ask someone for help to master sales, she started thinking to herself, and she admitted this, good for her, maybe I should go get my old job. The old job is what you already know you can do. That's the comfort zone. That's the way you already know how to make money. Okay? I told her this, and this is good for every listener listening right now. I said, I want you to understand something, and I mean this with love, but it's going to sound hardcore. If you use this necessity as an opportunity to learn and master sales, you will be financially abundant for the rest of your life if you truly master sales. If you go back to your old job, you will honestly almost never be financially abundant. There's no version of an entrepreneur starting a business not mastering how to sell, unless they hire someone to do it for them, being financially abundant. So I said, there's two options right now. Go get your old job and live your old life, or master sales and be financially abundant forever. If you finally master this, you'll never have to live paycheck to paycheck again. You'll never have to worry about not being able to pay rent again. If you master how to fish, you'll never go hungry because there's an abundance of fish out there. And I think that that's a good thing for everyone out there right now listening. There are so many things in this life that are comfortable. And I think if you're burning down, go seek proactive comfort for sure. But generally speaking, the recipe is rest plus stress equals growth. I'm reading a book called Peak Performance right now. Growth equals rest plus stress. He says some people, the author, are way too much rest, not nearly enough stress. Other people are way too much stress, not nearly enough rest. This is why cyclists literally have ridiculously hard day. They call it periodization, ridiculously hard days, and then they have really light days where they actually like walk their bikes up the hills. If you're out there right now, if you need to be on the right amount of stress plus rest, I like to use 80-20.
Yeah, but I think the problem is most people's stress isn't designed.
Right.
It's not, what is it, eustress and...
Yeah, there's eustress and distress.
I think most people... So eustress is good stress.
Yes.
Like...
It's like squatting heavy weight.
Right. It's
Yeah,
helping
right.
you level up.
Right.
And then distress, I think that's where a lot of people live, though. If you don't like your job, that's not eustress. That's not eustress. It's not good stress. It's not...
Could you make it that way with a mentality shift, though?
Yeah, but I think when you get home, you're going to be seeking comfort way more than you would.
Right.
Because it's not... If you're not getting the growth and the contribution... Like, we're very stressed.
Yeah.
Well, I'll speak for myself. I'm quite stressed right now at this time in my journey. Now, it's amazing I have the opportunity to feel the stress I have for the reasons I do.
Yeah. Would you consider it eustress?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a great talk today about like, okay, it's time for me to delegate more things, right? That's a great opportunity to have.
Right.
It's a great opportunity to have. But I also can take a day off. If I don't want to work tomorrow, I don't have to.
I know,
Well, I do tomorrow because tomorrow's a heavy day. But,
Yeah.
If I decide, I'm not going to work next Saturday. I don't want to. I want to take the entire day. Guess what? I can do that.
Right.
And the system will keep running.
Yeah.
System will keep running. So I think it's a little bit different. So for you, yeah, maybe the 20% of rest that you're getting isn't enough to outweigh the 80% of distress that you have in your life.
I see.
I think I just want to make that clear because I do understand.
It's important.
You love the grind. You love working all day every day, but it's also something you love doing,
Yeah.
right?
Very true.
It's not work.
Very true.
Don't let Dave hear that.
I know.
Uncle
I
Dave.
still have trouble with
Don't
that one.
say it to him.
I have trouble with that one. I do think that the best things in life are going to be hard.
What's one quick thing to help people get to the next level?
I was just going to ask you that.
I know. That's why I asked you, so I could have more time to think about it.
I appreciate that. If you're out there right now and you want to get to the next level, I would say what I told a client last week. I said to this person, Bianca, she doesn't mind me doing this. She gave me permission to always say when it's her. I said, B, stop trying to win the game overnight. Like, you take your time. Do the stuff that's hard and necessary and take your time doing it well. And don't try to do everything where you're constantly stressed in a terrible way. Reading a book for a half an hour by yourself is boring. There's no version of that not being boring. Unless you're weird, okay? I'm weird. So, I like doing that. But even that's boring compared to some things I could do. It's the best thing for you. The boring stuff is the best thing for you. That's my takeaway.
I would say that, honestly, this has been said 1 trillion times. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. I don't think it can. I don't think it can. The results you have are at your current level of comfort, learning, and anxiety. Like what you have in your life right now it's a byproduct of those things.
Right.
It's a byproduct of those things. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this. Tomorrow, we have our latest live mastermind from when we recorded it last week.
Not tomorrow, it'll be tonight. Oh,
Tomorrow.
I
No,
jumped you.
good.
I jumped you.
You're trying to do it live.
Yeah.
We talked about the top 10 ways to improve your relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard because we're doing these weeks in advance and it's a whole thing. But this was absolute fire. We talked about all the things that we do and have done to improve the relationships with ourselves, because at the end of the day, you are the most important relationship you have. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you at the next level.
Talk to you soon.